tutorial, we're looking at how to create non-player characters in the Space virtual world platform. These obviously can be used as vending machines, mannequins, models, for promoting clothing items. They can be integrated with our quest management system so that they can tell stories to users and involve users in complex multi-step games. So they have a lot of different features, but in this first tutorial I'm just going to look at how to set up a very simple NPC baked into the scene, baked into the region, which I'll be posing and dressing and turning it into a single item vending machine so that it can promote a single virtual good. So to follow this tutorial, you need to have installed Unity. You need to have logged in at curator.sine.space, and you need to have imported the Space editor pack to your Unity project. When you've done all that, you should have the Space menu item in the top bar in Unity. So I have a scene here used for another tutorial, in fact, as well, and I'm going to put a non-player character in here, and I'm going to get him to sell a car that you can then drive around this racetrack. So the first thing I want to put in here is a player character. So I'm going to come to the project folder and I'm going to search for player, and this object here called player char, I can drag this into the scene, and that means that when I press play I can run around and preview what I've created, just as you or your guests will do on the live servers. So I've got the player in there. Now in your editor pack you should also have an object called NPC template, non-player character template. You can create this quite simply, it's a capsule where you remove the mesh and retain the collider, and then you add the statue script to it, but there's a preset one in your project. So I can drag him out onto the ground, and in the scene view, which I'm showing you at the moment, he appears as a grey rectangle, and the small grey cube indicates what direction he or she is facing. If I come to its settings here, I can give it a name, so I'm going to call it racetrack NPC, and I'm going to add that name up here as well in the actual scene, so that I've got control of the object, and I'm going to drag it from the scene back into my project folder here, so that I've got a new copy, and that means that all the settings that I now apply will be applied to that one, not to the original one. So my original one is just a clean version that I can start with again. So I've got my racetrack NPC here, and so the first thing I want to do is dress the character, and I do that by applying a player outfit ID here in the inspector, and I get that ID by creating an outfit on my own avatar on the live servers, using any virtual goods that I own in that account, whether those are my own or things that I've purchased from other people, and then I save that outfit and I get an ID, and that's what I apply. So if you followed other tutorials, you will generally be bouncing back and forward between the editor and the preview service, because when you submit work, a region or a virtual good, the first place it arrives is creator.sine.space, which is the preview server. But in this instance, I want to create an outfit using other people's virtual goods that I have purchased on the live server. So I'm on the live server here, sine.space, and I'm going to go into the outfit window, and I don't want my NPC to look like this, so I'm going to here on the left I'm going to go for a new outfit, which I'm going to call racetrack 1, And so I'm going to create that. And now I am going to open the wardrobe, which is this button here. And I'm going to pick some clothes from my inventory. This shirt and this pair of pants and some shoes and a pair of rather roguish sunglasses. There we go. So I'm going to press save and close in a second, but you'll notice that I've already got a number here, 603056, and that's the ID that I want to apply. So I click save, that's my character, that's the outfit I'm going for. I go back to the editor and I add 603056, and that's it. I can now press play, and my NPC is now wearing that outfit, and if I change how that outfit looks on live, it'll automatically update with the NPC as well. So the other settings, we've got some render settings. If you want to, and this is good for sort of shop mannequins and things, you can then apply on a material, any material you want, on top of the outfit that you have created. If I press play here, you can see I have now got a character with the same outfit, but he's sort of completely plastic. The utility of this is you might want to have a mannequin that's all black or all gold, and then you'll notice you've got a skip material change ID. If you wanted a mannequin or a set of mannequins that were all black or all silver with a fancy material on them, except for, say, the sunglasses that you're selling or the pair of shoes that you're selling, you then put the ID of the item you want to remain in its native form with the original materials and shaders on it in here. And then you've got a shiny mannequin that's just showcasing a particular product, so the product stands out. That might be an aesthetic decision that you want to take advantage of. You can scale, so you can have giants roaming around if you want to. You can disable the shadows, particularly useful if you're doing crowd scenes. You can put hundreds of NPCs into a region. And similarly for crowd scenes, you can specify the cull distance, so that's how far away the specific NPC can be seen from. I don't want this material on, so I'm just going to take that off. What I do want to do is pose the character. So naturally it'll just do idle animations, but I'm going to add a specific pose which I have created for it. Very, very simple. It's actually just a static. There's no, not even any animation in this. I just did it to show the point. So this, if you followed some of our gesture tutorials, you know you need to set this up as a humanoid, and then if you're working with our models, then you can set the definition to the space avatar, or you can use the if you're taking an animation that was baked to a different skeleton, then you can use its own, and then the Unity Mechanim system will map it over automatically. And I always apply the root transform just to clamp the offset. Not that it's particularly relevant here, because I'll be doing that positioning in the scene. So I'm going to drag the take from this FBX file into the field that I had on the NPC slot here for the custom animation. So I'm dragging the take from within the FBX file in, and now when I press play, we can see he is sitting rather uncomfortably in the middle of the air, but the pose animation is playing. Now I want to get him sitting perfectly on these steps, and there is a particular trick for doing that quickly in Unity. So you can see I've pressed play, which is why I'm in the game window, and I have it set up here in the top right to maximize on play so that I'm only seeing the scene at a 16:9 aspect ratio. I'm going to press pause. Now I've been taken back to the scene window. I can flick back and forward between that and the game window when I want to. I can see my avatar, I can see the NPC and a load of kludge surrounding the NPC. But I can move him around here with the pose visible because it's not visible when I don't press play. I can just maneuver him around and rotate him. I want him leaning nonchalantly against the balustrade there, the balcony. Now, be aware, the issue is with Unity is that if I press stop, everything will jump back to its original position because this is a change that I've made during the runtime. So what I'm going to do is here on the right in the inspector, I'm coming to the transform component, and I'm going to right click on the word transform while pause is still held, and I'm going to copy the component. So I'm copying the specific location information. Now I can press stop. You'll see the NPC jumped back to where it was before, but I can now right click again over transform, and I have the option to paste component values. So I'm writing over the values, and it jumps into position. And now when I press play, he's sitting exactly where he is supposed to be. Great. But at the moment, he's a rather louche, handsome, and completely inert NPC. He doesn't do anything. So I'm going to give him a simple function, and but that basically is how you set up a non-player character that's baked into the scene. I'm going to add a vending machine. So I'm going to add another component to the NPC. And so I type in vendor, and there are a number of different vending machines we have. The catalog one, for instance, is very good if you have a range. If you have a product range under a particular brand, you can use a catalog vendor, will limit the inventory displayed to that brand. But I'm going to do the inventory vendor here, which is tied to a specific item. It will showcase and preview one object. So I need an object to sell. Now, in a previous tutorial in this racetrack region, you may have watched the tutorial on creating a vehicle, a car with car physics attached to it. And so that's what I'm going to put on sale via this NPC. So I'm going to find that car down here. Now, the actual virtual good that I uploaded in that tutorial to the preview server is this little car here, and you can see I've got all the physics and so on and so forth attached to it, and you can see on the virtual goods script that the status of the item, it has previously been uploaded. It's not just sitting on my desktop, and it has an ID, and the ID is 58, and that's the ID that I want to carry across into this vending machine script. So here, game item ID, I'm going to type in 58. Now the label text here relates to specific vending machine objects. You can drag text, canvas text into these, and we have some specific vending machine objects that sort of spring up when you walk near them and present pricing information. I'm not using any of that here because the physical manifestation of the vending machine is the NPC. So I'm leaving all of those empty. In other tutorials about vending machines, you'll see how to add those. But what I do want to do is add the preview object, which is the last of these four fields. so that when I click on the NPC, he's going to become clickable, and when I click on him, it's going to spring open a window that will showcase that one product for sale. And that means that I need to have a copy of that object in the scene itself. That's where the asset is going to be grabbed from. Now, what I don't want to do is put the full virtual good item in there because it's got physics attached to it. So I've got another copy which is the same object, but it's just the mesh and the materials. There's no physics attached, and I'm going to put this in the scene. Actually, I already have one in the scene. So I'm going to drag this into the scene, and if I open it up, you can see there's none of those virtual world components attached to it. I'm going to hide it so that nobody sees it, so I'm going to put it at 0, minus 200, 0 in the scene. And now if I hover over the scene window and press F, you can see it's out of sight. So nobody's going to find that. If I come back to my NPC, I can now drag, and it has to be the one in the scene. Don't drag from the project. I'm dragging from the scene hierarchy into that preview transform field in the inventory vendor component. I'm, as I say, not worrying about the text for this demo. So now when I press play, he should be a clickable NPC. And when I upload the scene again, I'll be able to preview the object. So I walk up to him and I can click on him. One minor glitch, generally speaking, we try to bring you a what you see is what you get environment in the editor. You can kind of see the silhouette of it. Unfortunately, right now, for some reason, the background texture is rendering on top of the preview image. It's only doing that in the editor, a minor glitch. When you see it in world, you'll see it's the other way around. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. I will go and hit some engineers. So now I've got my NPC in place. I'm going to knock the player character out of the scene because I don't want to re-upload the scene with the player chart. It won't actually allow me to, so I'm going to knock him out before I get told to. Anyway, I'm going to come to the scene export settings because I'm baking this NPC into the scene. And if you've seen our region tutorials, then you'll have seen this scene export settings before. You can also deploy NPCs as sort of spawnable objects so that you can just run around spawning them like a furniture item or anything else in world. And we'll do a separate tutorial on that. But this one I'm baking into the scene. So I've made changes to the scene that I've already uploaded. So I'm going to scroll down here. You can see that this scene has already been submitted. It has a URL and an ID. But I've now made changes to it by adding this NPC. So I just need to save the scene and submit it. And it's going to write over the previous version that didn't have the NPC. And so when it's uploaded, I can log in and show you what it looks like. So here I am in the scene, and I can just walk up to the NPC. It's clickable, and now you can see the object is previewed properly, and it's purchasable. So that's how to create an NPC baked into your region. You can do it for vending machines, you can do hundreds of them for crowd scenes, you can do them for mannequins or machinima or fashion models. But I've used it to sell this little car. And in the next tutorials in this series, we'll show how to use NPCs as spawnable items and how to use NPCs for quests.